Was there a kind of experience in your life where you felt something significantly changed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe about 24, 25 years ago, maybe, was when I first became interested in enlightenment or self-realization or spirituality. And that really came about as a result of quite a long illness. And in this illness, I felt great powerlessness, and so my curiosity, during this illness, there was a time when I had a sense of being no person, a sense of identity, ego vanished, and
so it wasn't a physical. It wasn't a physical.
No, no. At that point, it was very more psychological, when I received help with that illness, and some time after, I became interested in spirituality, and I had been brought up as a young boy within the Christian story, and I wasn't aware of any other philosophies or religions really apart from the Christian story, and so I met some friends. I was very fortunate. I met some people, and they introduced me to self-realization and enlightenment, and that's how it started about. And I felt my childhood curiosity and wonderment about life and the world returning. At that stage, I was 36 years of age.
And there was a spark, and you followed the lead of the spark, so to speak.
I would describe it more as a hunger. It was like a hunger that couldn't be satisfied, and despite the fact that it would get momentary satisfaction and be appeased in some way, but it would still return, and I'd need to know more. I found myself, for instance, reading books on Zen Buddhism, on consciousness, on awareness, reading some of the Christian mystics, some of the Persian mystics, became acquainted with Nisargadatta and with the Ramana Maharishi and Krishnamurti. And I think the first book of Krishnamurti's I read was First and Last Freedom, and it was just like a liberation. I had never heard of anything like this, so I didn't realize it, but I was well on my way at that stage.
Did you ever had the feeling that this, which is the seeking, was that your thirst or your hunger was satisfied? Did you come to a point where?
Yeah, there was a point. I suppose after about maybe 8 or 10 years or so, where in one fleeting moment I fully understood intuitively, like with the whole mind, what everybody was speaking about, what self-realization was, what Pat the person was, what it's like a knowing. It was a knowing that which has no opposite. There was no doubt, there was no not knowing, there was no I wonder if that's true or maybe I'm wrong. And it happened on a Sunday afternoon, and I just felt tears, very tearful, and I tried to hide it because our children were young that time and they were in the room, but it was just, it's even impossible to recall it in memory. But I knew in that moment intuitively what it was about.
And when you pursued your seeking, your search, did you just pursue it through reading, or did you investigate, or was there some meditation involved? What was your practice, or?
Yeah. At that time, earlier on, I was also introduced to meditation, which I found very difficult.
Yeah.
And it was very strange to me. But I persisted, or maybe the meditation persisted with me. I'm not sure. But this friend of mine who I met, he was known to all who knew him as Spiritual Jim, and he also he was Spiritual Jim, and he also had a friend Conquer, and so I was very lucky in the fact that I could have dialogue with him also, even though at that time I didn't understand exactly what they were talking about. One was a very easy kind of teacher, if you like, and the other was very forceful and direct. But and it was they who introduced me to the books and of all these people. And but both had shed the bodies within a year and a half of I meeting them. So that was another great dereliction and devastation for me. And and sad also because, you know, I persisted with the inquiry, and then I often longed that they were still here, that I could, what great discussions I could have with them.
So after them shedding the body, as you call it, you were basically more or less on your own?
Yes, very much.
Ah.
Very, very much. It was for me a very depressing, low period, lonely.
Yeah.
I got great support from my wife and from some friends and stuff like that, who people who knew what I was going through. But yeah, the search continued. It was like an appetite that couldn't be satisfied. I read in the morning at breakfast, I read at lunchtime, I read at night, I read the moment. But also, that was just part of it, because it also went deeper, like inquiring within oneself, like meditating upon these things, the working and the duties that I needed to perform during the day all continued, but at the same time there was this inner meditating happening and wondering, you know, about what does that mean and how is that possible, and you know.